Can I take the leftovers for my daughter? The biker's reaction left the whole diner silent. The diner at the edge of town. The morning sky hung heavy over the highway, a dull gray sheet over miles of cracked asphalt and faded dreams. At the edge of town stood a small diner, the kind where coffee smelled like yesterday and hope felt optional. Inside, the jukebox hummed softly, and the few regulars nursed their mugs in silence. Among them sat Lena, a young mother with tired eyes and a child clinging to her sweater. Her daughter Maddie couldn't have been more than 5. They'd been traveling for hours, nowhere to go, nothing left but a few dollars and a will to survive. Lena stared down at the menu she couldn't afford. The waitress, kind but weary, filled her cup with water. "Take your time, hun," she said, giving a knowing look. Lena nodded, her throat tightening. She ordered the cheapest plate, a single serving of scrambled eggs and toast. Maddie smiled when it arrived, her little fingers reaching eagerly. Lena split the meal in half, pretending she wasn't hungry. That's when the rumble came. Outside, 5 motorcycles rolled up, their engines growling like thunder. The diner windows rattled. Everyone turned to look. Black leather, beards, patches, and tattoos. The Iron Hounds Motorcycle Club, rough men, quiet eyes. They filled the diner like a storm cloud walking on 2 legs. The leader, a broad man with iron-gray hair and the word Red Dog stitched across his vest, walked to the counter and sat down. His rings clinked against the mug as he ordered, "Coffee, black, keep it coming." The air went still. Lena felt Maddie's hand tighten around hers, the question that froze the room. Lena tried to make herself small. Maddie leaned against her, whispering, "Mommy, are they bad guys?" She smiled faintly. "No, sweetheart. They're just loud." When the waitress brought Red Dog his plate, eggs, steak, and hash browns, the smell filled the room. Lena couldn't help but glance over. She wasn't jealous, just tired. Tired of hunger, of the weight of pretending. Maddie finished her portion and whispered, "Mommy, can we save the rest for later?" Lena looked at the small plate, barely touched on her side. The thought crossed her mind, a whisper she tried to ignore. But desperation doesn't whisper long. It screams. She stood slowly, gathering the courage that had gotten her through every bad day. She walked toward the counter, her voice trembling. "Excuse me," she said softly to the waitress. "Would it be all right if I took the leftovers home for my daughter?" The diner went silent. Forks stopped mid-air. Conversations died. Everyone looked, not at the waitress, but at Lena, and at the bikers sitting around her. Red Dog turned his head, his eyes narrowing slightly, not in anger but curiosity. "What leftovers?" he asked. Lena froze, realizing she'd spoken louder than she thought. "Oh, I just meant our food." "We can't finish it and—" He leaned back on his seat, arms crossed, voice gravelly. "You're asking if you can take scraps home for your kid?" The words hit like a hammer. Lena's face burned with embarrassment. "It's fine," she whispered. "Forget I said anything." But the man didn't move. The entire diner watched. The tension was a living thing. Then slowly, Red Dog stood up. His boots echoed on the floor as he walked toward her. Maddie clung tighter to her mother's arm, the silence before kindness. He stopped a few feet away, towering over her. The waitress looked nervous. Everyone else looked ready to bolt. Then Red Dog did something no one expected. He turned to the waitress and said, "Get this lady and her girl 2 full plates. Pancakes, bacon, juice. And put it on my tab." The waitress blinked. "You sure, Red?" He nodded once. "Yeah, and pack some up for the road, too." The room stayed silent. No one dared to speak. Lena's eyes widened. "You don't have to—" "I know I don't," he said. "But you asked polite. That's more than most folks do these days." He looked down at Maddie. "You like pancakes, little one?" Maddie peeked from behind her mother's arm and nodded shyly. "With syrup." Red Dog grinned. "Good answer." He walked back to his seat and sipped his coffee like nothing had happened. The diner exhaled. The silence broke. A few people smiled. Someone even clapped quietly. Lena sat back down, tears stinging her, the man behind the leather. When the food came, Maddie ate like she hadn't seen a meal in days, because she hadn't. Lena took small bites, watching Red Dog from across the room. He laughed with his crew, but there was something in his face, a shadow of memory. After they finished, Lena walked back to the counter. "Thank you," she said softly. "You didn't have to do that." Red Dog looked up, his eyes softening. "You remind me of someone," he said. "My sister. She had a kid too. World wasn't kind to her either." Lena smiled faintly. "You helped us more than you know," he nodded. "Just pay it forward when you can." Then with a smirk, he added, "And don't let anyone tell you you're weak for asking. Takes guts to speak up when life beats you down." She felt her chest tighten, not from sadness but gratitude. "I won't forget this." He raised his coffee cup slightly. "Good. Neither will I." That changed everything. As the bikers finished and prepared to leave, one of them, a younger man with sharp eyes, handed Maddie a small leather patch with the Iron Hound's emblem. "Something to remember us by," he said. Maddie held it tight. "Thank you." They roared off down the road, engines echoing through the diner until they were nothing but a memory. The waitress came over and smiled at Lena. "They come here every month," she said. "Never saw 'em do that for anyone before." Lena looked out the window, watching the horizon fade. Maybe they just needed someone to remind them they still can. She took the packed food the waitress handed her, lifted Maddie into her arms, and stepped outside. The wind was cold, but her heart wasn't. For the first time in a long while, she didn't feel invisible. She felt seen.